Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 11 of EFL right here in Monza. I'm the owner and commentator of EFL, Eric the Lightning Salama, and today we have a special day because Leo ZRN with Red Bull has the chance to take the title this season because of most of his championship contenders, Vaizo, Sersapel, and Duckbird not racing here today. Only championship rival who is racing with Leo at the moment is F7R Jake, and he is around 45 points behind Leo in the championship. So if Leo finishes in the points and he doesn't DNF before the 90% rule, then Leo is going to be the champion. And using correctly, ladies and gentlemen, we only have 8 drivers here today, and that's due to a late scheduled race today because of my basketball work and real life qualifying and real life Formula 2 sprint race, but mostly because I was working till 5 p.m. and that's why not many people racing, and also we're doing no assists, so some people got scared off. But anyways, these are the 8 brave soldiers who took the challenge of no assist and are gonna stick with it. And we're gonna have a very long race ahead of us, and like I said, Leo has the chance to win the championship here today in EFL. Vaizo is 2 points behind of Leo, and if Leo wins the Grand Prix, then Leo will become the new World Drivers Champion of Season 2 in EFL, and this will automatically mean if Leo scores any points in this race, that means Sersapel is gonna lose. He's not going to be able to win the championship in this season, Season 2. So he's going to lose the championship, the lead, or not lead. He's going to not be able to defend his championship if Leo scores any points here today. So after this race, it might even be Leo against Vaizo, then Leo is going to be the champion. Or then it's going to be in the final round, Leo versus Vaizo versus Sersapel. But yeah. 8 drivers joining here today. We're gonna keep an eye on, close eye look on Blender for Life, who is gonna be very strong here today because I know he's a no assist driver. He's used to doing no assist, so he's gonna be very strong here today. And even though we only have 8 drivers driving, but here in Monza, it doesn't take any part away of the championship or any part away from the race win. Still the same Grand Prix. People still driving in league racing. They're still participating for this week's race, and some people just didn't come, some people just couldn't do it, and yeah. New comments coming from Leo saying, it's overcast in race, thank God, and Napula saying hello and welcome. Well, welcome Napula, welcome Leo. It's gonna be a very good race, hopefully. We're gonna have a 8-car battle for the win, because most of the drivers are not used to no assist, but Blender coming towards the last corners. These lap times might be a little bit off what we used to see due to no assist, but it is what it is. Blender is gonna come towards set the first lap, and it's a 1:19.9, so he sets the first provisional banker lap, and that puts him to pole position. We'll see what Jake does. Jake uses all part of the track, and he sets a 1:20.3. He goes P3. Let's see what the Williams driver Impact will do. He doesn't do anything because he has invalidated his lap. We have a McLaren driver Kamiap, who's also invalidated. TTV Bucks Bunny goes P3 with 1:48.1. Hopefully that's not going to be P3 time here today. It might very well will be because no assist. But Napula coming towards the Ascari corners. The only driver with Bucks Bunny at the moment, with a medium set of tires. And yeah, I think the top 3. I actually don't know. It can be literally like anything in the top 3. But yeah, Napula coming towards the final corner, and he has aborted his lap and he's going back to the pits. We're gonna see what Leo does. Leo's coming towards the Ascari corner. Impact is in the sector 1. Matt is just starting his lap. And we have Bugs Bunny, who's coming towards the Ascari. A little bit locking up, running a little bit wide, making huge mistake and aborting his lap already, and that's his lap done and dusted. And Impact has invalidated his lap once again. And Leo coming towards the final corner. And let's see what lap time he's going to do. What lap time is going to be. It's going to be a 1:21 and flat. And it will move into P3 position. So currently 4 drivers only set at a valid lap time here today. We'll see what F7R Matt does. P2 from Bahrain short track. He has one podium this season with what came from the Bahrain short track from P15 to P2, which was a great drive, maybe his best drive he's done in EFL. Impact, of course, he's probably gonna go back to the pits. Leo is just, but I've talked to him personally outside well, Formula 1 tracks. I know he's not very comfortable with the no assist thing, and of course him trying to win the championship. He felt like it's not going to be an easy job to win it now because no assist, but his close championship rivals are not racing here today, unfortunately, but still. Let's see where Leo finishes. So Leo, I repeat, he has to win the race. I'm going to write that to the live stream chat actually. If Leo wins the race today, he will be drivers champion in EFL season 2. There we go, and we're gonna keep a close eye on Leo now. He's coming towards to set his lap. We have a new comment coming. We're gonna quickly check who won it. And Visor wrote, I'm not racing, but my parents are because my parents are thick in head. Oh, they're not thick in head, they're just thinking about your education and that you're gonna do well in school because you have exams and writings. It's very important in your for your future that you have your full focus on the school exams, and because future is ahead of you, and you're not gonna make a future playing video games. So your parents did the right thing. They want to, and we have Leo who has crashed. But luckily he hasn't crashed out. And Yoni writes Moi. Hello Yoni. Once again, I like you, you're a nice guy. But yeah, Visor, don't blame your parents. Don't yell at your parents. Just think about best of your education, best of your future. So there will be many more league races, trust me, many more titles. And hey, you never know. If Leo doesn't win, you're still in a championship fight. Remember that. Alright. We're gonna keep an eye on Kamiap now. Whose gearbox is swerving so much, like Jesus bloody Christ. That gearbox is struggling. It's struggling. It's in a pain. It just wants to please let me go, kill me. I don't know, just retire me. I don't want to hear that gearbox anymore. But yeah, boys are saying, yes, 12 hours of studying surely doesn't mean. Well, yeah, but don't blame your parents. Come on. Don't blame it. They just want you to do well. They don't want you to have any distractions. Man, as a bit psychiatrist, I'm giving such a good life lessons here today. Kamiap is P3 with 120.7, which is very good lap time. So, but still, Blender for life, he has over 4/10 pole at the moment. He's still in pole position with that banker lap. We'll see what Napla does. Napla sets a 121.1 and it will move him to P5 position. But we have to remember, Napla is with the medium set of tires. We have DGC Impact coming towards the last corners of Parabolica, and we'll see what lap time he's gonna do. He has to make a 121.7 to get the top 3, and we'll see what lap time he does. And it's gonna be 121, it's gonna be 122, and it's gonna be a 123.4, and it will move into P6 position. Only driver currently without a lap is F7R Matt. And Bugs Bunny sets a 120.6 with mediums and he takes P3. So 2 McLarens in P3 and P4. Maybe one of the best qualifying results so far this season for McLaren. F7R Jake, 2/10, improving in Sector 1. Currently, Jake, who's also in a championship fight. I actually have to quickly check what position he is in the championship because I don't want to give false information for you nice folks, for you nice people who are watching this race. I don't know, you might be big cunts, but you never know. Yeah, no, you're not cunts, but I don't know you personally, so I can't say for sure. But so Jake is with 78 points and Leo is 120 points, so that means 42 points separates Jake and Leo. So basically, Jake has to win. That's the thing. That's plain and simple. Jake has to win the race. And Blended for Life retired from the set, so he's made a mistake in the Lesmos too. But Jake moves himself to P2 position with 120 and flat. Lost the pole position to Blended for Life, and Bugs Bunny has also retired. So what on earth happened to Bugs Bunny? Can we see from... So Bugs Bunny has retired. We have Blended for Life who has retired. So we have 2 drivers who have retired here today. And a new comment from Leo saying, damn, big crash for Blender. So you saw it. So it probably happened in the Lesmos. Either Lesmo 1 or Lesmo 2 because of my full map. But that's very unfortunate. But hey, Blender is still in P1 position. So, yeah. Blender's still P1. But hopefully we will have better luck in the race. That's what I meant to say. But F7 now, Matt, the only driver here today, still without a lap time. So we need to see and wait what he does. He's just coming towards the Ascavi corners, and unfortunately, he invalidated his lap. F7 now, Jake, is he going to drive another lap, or is he going to drive back to the pits? I don't know, he's improving or not, and he is driving back to the pits as there's 3.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session so far. 5 minutes 40 seconds. I mean, yeah, it's anybody's game actually to win the race. And we have F7 Ahmed who's actually invalidated his lap. Actually missed the pit lane, and probably this and next lap invalidated. No drivers currently in the track, only Impact and Kami up. Okay, now there's people coming to the track. Leo currently P5, Napla P6, Impact in P7, and F7 Ahmed in P8 position. And he's just corner cutting massively, and I have to put notifications off. Excusez-moi. Pardon, messieurs. Okay, wrong language. There we go. And we just saw Matt making a mistake in Lesmos, and he has to wait until the Williams car of Impact drives past him. But that was a massive mistake from F7 Ahmed. And if you have any comments, any questions, anything at all about the Season 3 of EFL, which is by the way going to be no assist league, write them to the comments. And of course, EFL welcomes all drivers across the platform to drive Saturdays 4 PM UK time in EFL. As we still have 4.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. Currently Blender for Life, still in pole position. But that was his banker lap, and the track improves a lot till the last seconds. So we might have new provisional pole position because Blender's lap time was set at 15 minutes, and of course track improves around half a second till the end of the session. So you have more grip, you might get slipstream, and came up once wide, but the game doesn't invalidate his lap. So we have new comments from Napla saying controller is broken, Ascavi is fun, so Napla is having his own problems with the controller. Oh boy, that's very fun. Put steering saturation to 10. Steering saturation 10. And Kami up sets a 120.4, which will move him to P3 position. But yeah, usually the steering saturation helps out a lot if you have control issues. And we have Impact who has spun it. So this is the struggles people are having with no assist. And he's doing a couple of donuts here today. He has to wait until somebody gets past, and that's Leo. Leo's in the lap. Napoli, I wanna see what does it look like. Yeah, okay, he has massive problems with the steering. Well, that's a big shame. But yeah, currently 3 minutes remaining. Blended for Life still in the provisional pole position. We'll see is Leo gonna take pole position or not. He's improving by 6.5 tenths. And we'll see how he's gonna do the Ascavi corners very beautifully. And currently with this lap he would go around P3 or P2. It's still not enough to secure the title. If Leo finishes in the top 3 in the race, it's still Viso against Leo for the Drivers' Championship. And Leo is gonna set a 120 and flat. He goes very close with Blended for Life. Only loses to him by 60 or 70 thousandths of a second. Blender for Life, who only has 44 points in the season, no podiums whatsoever this season, no wins, only top 7, top 8 finishes the whole season. Every race he's done, every race he's finished and got points, and now he's gonna take probably, he has chance to take his first ever pole position in EFL. And Appler, I mean, purple sector 2 and controller doesn't turn on white, well, that's something. But hey, steering saturation Appler, put steering saturation too high or something, and shit, you have to get a new controller. Better than TT. Alright, Leo's very happy, as we have 1 minute 42 seconds remaining qualifying session so far, if my timer is correct. But FC now Jake, he's 5 seconds down on his timer, is probably starting his lap. We have Impact. We might actually have to keep a close eye on him. He's invalidated his lap, and that's, well, he's lap done and dusted. He has set the lap time, but only driver without the lap time currently is F7R Matt. And we have F7R Jake in the lap in the lap. New viewers who are coming, welcome to round 11 of EFL in Monza. No assist race. 8 people driving here today due to late postponed race due to qualifying and my personal work schedules. And F7RJ coming towards the Lesmore corners, Lesmore 1. And the next corner I believe is going to be a Lesmore 2. And Jake is coming towards the Ascari corner. He's improving by 78 thousandths, so he has a chance to jump to P2 or even P1 if he nails the last sector. Okay, or keep his position in P3. But looks like Leo is not going to be able to challenge Blender. And very impressive from Blender, making huge mistake in qualifying. But banker lap looks like it's going to be enough for pole position. We'll see what the American does. But let's see what Jake does. And Jake sets a 119.8. And FC Jake does what he has to do to stay alive in the championship fight. If Leo retires and Jake wins, he's still in the championship fight. I mean, okay, somebody count. Jake is 42 points behind of Leo. And, okay, 25 points. 25 minus 42, it's around 17, 18. So, yeah, if Jake wins, basically Leo has to be P2. And we're gonna see what DGC Impact does. He's coming towards the line, easy boom by 6 and 7/10 almost, and he sets a 123.1, but it's the last place currently. We'll see what FCNR Matt does, who is in a qualifying lap, but Leo's lap is done and dusted. He has spun and retired from the session, so his qualifying is over. We'll see what FCNR Matt does, what Napla does with a broken controller that doesn't turn to white. So we'll see. FC Matt, and we're just gonna keep an eye on Napla. Napla is getting blocked a little bit by DGC Impact, who is in a flying lap, of course, but it's allowed. If he's in a flying lap, he doesn't have to let him go. But currently 3 drivers only in a lap, and we see what FCNR Matt does. He's gonna drop Blender, he's gonna take pole position. We'll see what he does, what FCNR Matt does in that Racing Point car, and he sets a 190.8, and he will drop Blender for P3. So we have Ferrari, Racing Point and Haas in top 3, and we'll see what Napla does. Napla is improving by 1 second of his lap time, so Napla is currently putting himself to the top 3 or top 4. We'll see what he does. What is Napla gonna do in the qualifying session so far? Leo has finished this lap, and Napla is gonna get a little bit of slipstream from the cars ahead, but I don't know, did he get blocked by DGC Impact? We'll see what Napla does. Is Napla gonna take pole position? He did a 119.7, and we'll see what position he's gonna put himself, and that's pole position for Napla. Napla takes pole position. So that's first pole position for Napla ever in EFL, and he takes it with 63 thousandths of a second. So Napla, who's done 2 seasons of EFL, has never taken pole position in EFL, and that's his first pole position ever in EFL. So Napla P1, Jake takes P2, Matt P3, Blender P4, Leo P5, Kamian P6, Bugs Bunny P7, and DJC Impact in P8. And Bugs Bunny only driver with a medium tires, well, the medium lap in this qualifying session, so he will be starting with the mediums in the top 8. and only 8 drivers starting here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's say, is this USA 2005 race? Is this USA 2005? Come on, if real Formula 1 race can, they can still race with 6 cars, why can't the EFL race with 8 cars? I don't care if somebody doesn't make it, because we have to keep aligned the schedule. But that was amazing proposition by Napla. I don't know what I'm saying, but that was incredible from all of these drivers. And doesn't look like it's gonna rain. And Napla waiting to the... well, good job Leo, and Leo waiting great job Napla. So they're complementing each other, which is really weird because Vaiso is in a championship fight, and Napla is in Mercedes, Vaiso in Mercedes, Leo's in Red Bull. So basically, Napla is a wingman of Vaiso basically at the moment, and they're complementing each other. But hey, that's good. That's good. They have no war, just love. Make love, not war, which is utterly bullshit. But anyways, I mean, McLarens are quick. Yeah, McLarens are quick, exactly, and. It's gonna. Oh yeah, formation lap is off. Formation lap is off. I forgot to put formation lap on everybody, so it's gonna be a flying start. It's gonna be a flying start for everybody. And if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Grand Prix of Monza, and somebody has already run wide. Hopefully no wing damage for anybody, but these cars are out, and 8-car Grand Prix starts here today in EFL. I never thought I would say this, but Napla gets a great start. No colliding with each other, nothing, no actions with all of these cars, and it looks like very clean start. Nobody lost position, and nobody gained any positions. Well, Bugs Bunny jumps ahead of Leo, so Leo is a little bit struggling at the moment. Currently in P6. He's trying to fight back against Bugs Bunny, but he has to let him go. And Blender for Life, P4, FCNR Matt P3, Jake in P2, Napla P1, and we have Bugs Bunny, who's losing a lot of positions at the moment, and he's currently dropped to P7 position. Leo, this position, Jake in P2. This is not enough to secure the title, but it's enough to put Jake out of the title. Wait, 48 points. Or was it 42? 42 points. 32, 22, 24, 34, so it's not enough. It's not enough. He has to finish in the 8th place to still have a chance or DNF. But looks like Leo is fighting with the McLarens. They're gonna go side by side with each other, and Leo is struggling a lot at the moment. But because Vaiso and Chappelle and Duckbird are not racing yet today, it's good for Leo, and Naples is the fastest lap. He has over 1.3 second lead of the Grand Prix already, and Jake and Matt are fighting with each other, and looks like Jake still got the position done, and 2 friends are fighting with each other, FCNR Jake and FCNR Matt, and we have Bugs Bunny and K-Map already getting 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Was it 10-second time penalty? I'm gonna quickly check that. I just wanna see, penalty was warning, penalty invalidate lap time, alright. And incidents, yeah, 3 seconds, yeah. And we have Bugs Bunny, who's run a little bit wide and is struggling, and he's currently in P7. Jamie at P6, Leo P5, Blender in P4, he's fighting with the Racing Pod and the Ferrari, and currently Blender is trying to make a spender. Blender is spending his chances, and he wants to take the P3, but we'll see who has the bigger cojones, who has to give in, and he's making the overtake in the Ascari corner. Amazing overtake by Blender. That's beautiful job by the American, who is finally fighting for podiums. What I was expecting him to do all season, he's doing in the penultimate round. He has taken the podium place, and he has never finished in a podium in EFL, and this is great stop by Blender. But Matt is gonna come back, he's gonna fight, he's not gonna give in, and they're gonna go side by side with each other, a little bit tapping each other. Napla hitting another fastest lap with 1:23.5, and he already has over 2.3 second lead of the Grand Prix, and looks like FCNR Matt got the maneuver done on Blender for Life. And we have Jake, who is holding up basically the top 3, but Leo is not being... well, he's actually joining the barbecue party, and so is K-Map, so everybody's actually pretty close with each other. And the gap from first to last is 9.4 seconds. The only drivers who are not in the train are basically Bugs Bunny and DGC Impact at the moment. But it's good experience for the next season for them. As Napla already, he's just controlling his gap. He has a broken controller, I wanna see that too. And FCNR Jake, actually we're gonna keep an eye on this. FCNR Jake loses 2 positions to Blender and to Matt, and just like that Jake has lost 2 positions, but of course Slipstream in Monza, he can gain those positions back immediately. But because these drivers are fighting, Nappula already has 3 second lead in the first 3 laps. And he's gonna set another fastest lap. It was 1:23 something, and Nappula setting another fastest lap on 1:23.2, and that's the Mercedes power, everybody. Mercedes has come back, and that would be Nappula's 2nd win of the season in the last 3 races. So currently Bahrain saw P1, Hungary P2, and Monza P1. So Nappula's comeback to season 2 has been amazing. Currently in P6 positions after only 5 rounds done. So incredible comeback by Nappula to season 2, and I've never seen him this confident in a Grand Prix. I have to go back to the game 2017 to see that he was this confident in any game, any Formula 1 games. But looks like we have a fight for P6 or P5 between Leo and Kamiap. Then Bugs Bunny and Impact are just driving alone. There's still points, and Blender for Life has re-overtaken Jake, or Jake was ahead of him, but now Jake is back in P4, so Jake has made a small mistake, and we have Kamiap and Leo fighting with each other, and Kamiap able to overtake Leo for P6 position. So currently 8 points for Leo, 12 points for Jake. Bizo 2 points behind, so currently after this race, if they finish like this, Bizo will be 10 points behind to the last Grand Prix. And then it's going to be a matter of fact who's going to finish ahead in the last race. But Nappula 4.1 second lead. Blender for Life already challenging Matt for position, and that's P2 for Blender for Life. And Matt gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And great to see that these drivers are fighting cleanly using the Slipstream DRS, and no major collisions with each other here today. And Matt is just following very closely on Blender. And also Kamiap is closing down on Jake, so Jake is a little bit struggling, and this is not what Jake had in mind in the first place after qualifying P2, P3. His race pace is not what I was expecting, but it's still a long race. And now Kamiap using the ERS, and is gonna dive up the inside. No, he's not, he's waiting for a better opportunity. Then we just have Impact, who's driving alone with Bugs Bunny, but Bugs Bunny, of course, he is with the, let's put the tires, he is with the mediums. Only driver here today with the medium tires. And there's a big fight for P2 and P3 going on between Blender for Life and FCNR Matt. And Yellow's in sector 3. And that was Leo. Leo has dropped to P7. And FCNR Matt has overtaken Blender for P2 position, but Leo probably has some kind of damage. And Blender basically pushing Matt, tried to switch back, but it was a nice try, but a little bit bumping with each other. They're going side by side with each other, a little bit racing. That's mano and mano action. Who is gonna give in? And looks like Blender got maneuvered down. They're gonna go side by side here, and Blender gets pushed a little bit wide, but that was still decent fight. But because of that fight, once again Nappula has 5.7 second lead. So he's doing what Lewis Hamilton does in real life. And we have Impact, we have a spinner, we have a DGC Impact who has spun it. And it just has to keep it alive, because safety cars can come, VSCs can come, safety car glitches can come. As Leo is 5 seconds behind now. Now he's in P7, he would get 6 points if he finishes this Grand Prix. He won't get points if he DNFs, remember that. That's the thing. And his tires are overheating a lot. But Kamiap, Jake, now Nappula sitting another fastest lap of 1:22.8, and Blender for Life is right behind of FCNR Matt, and Matt is switching the lines. He's defending, he doesn't want to give up without a fight. Who would want to give up without a fight? And looks like Blender got P2 back from Matt, but ladies and gentlemen, get ready for World War 3. Because now Matt got a bad exit and now Jake is gonna punish him for that. And now Kamiep is putting his nose to the fight. He wants to join this barbecue party and probably do 4-for-1 deal. And now it looks like we have McLaren and Racing Point going side by side. And looks like we have Matt who lost his car a little bit and has to give up, and he dropped to P5. And Jake is over once again behind of Blender for Life, so Blender for Life has made over once again gap to FCNR Jake. Jake tries to get that gap back, of course, to get the slipstream and DRS to keep up with Blender for Life. But it's not easy when you have Kamiep, the McLaren driver, challenging you behind. Now it's 9 tenths. 9 tenths. Let's see if he's gonna get the DRS or not. It's still 9 tenths. Napola's gap is increasing and increasing each lap. It's 6.2 seconds. He's just very comfortable. He's just driving his own natural habitat. He's doing what Weiser was expecting him to do, because they still have a chance to win the Constructors title. Mercedes is leading the Constructors by over 20 points. So what Napola is doing now is good for the Constructors. Actually, I have to check that will Mercedes win the Constructors Championship here today if Napola wins and Leo finishes in 7th place. And we have FCNR Jake and McLaren. FCNR Jake and Kamiep fighting, and I have the gaps right now. There we go. So Mercedes is leading the Constructors Championship by 21 points. So if Napola wins, Mercedes gets 25 points, so 25 plus 21, that would be 46, and currently Leo, P7, he would get 6 points, so 40 points. So it's still possible for Red Bull to win a Constructors Championship, but if he finishes P8, that would be 40. He would still have a chance, because 40 or 42 points, and you need 44 for 1-2. That would mean Red Bull would still have a chance to win a Constructors Championship. So yeah, it's not over. And Kamiep overtakes FCNR Jake for P3 position. Leo gets a 3-second time penalty. And we'll see when the first drivers are going to come to the pits, who is going to try the undercut. And Blender is closing the gap a little bit on Napola, but the gap is still 6 seconds. And FCNR Jake has kept his position against Kamiep. But Kamiep is coming back once again very beautifully, and would be very lovely if they did. This is Impact. And we have Matt, who dived up the inside. He came out of nowhere. He came like Randy Orton's RKO. You unexpected, but unexpected was also that they all survived that in one piece. And Matt has to wait for another chance, another lap to fight. Kamiep over 4.3 seconds behind of Blender, and Blender 5.8 seconds behind of Napola. So Blender is closing down each lap, 10th by 10th, but Napola still very comfortable lead. But one safety car can change everything, and we have yellows in sector 1. And that's Impact, who has spun it. He has made a pit stop and currently in P8. Leo in P7, lonely P7. This would be enough for him to extend his championship over Weiser. And after this race, if Leo finishes like this, it's going to be a 10-point gap between Weiser and Leo, and Jake, Duckbird and Sir Chappelle would be out of the championship fight. And we have Jake and Matt pitting. Jake is taking the mediums. Matt is changing his front wing, and he's going to take the mediums also, so he's going to lose tremendous amount of time. Leo gets promoted to P5, Bugs Bunny P4. Are we going to see any team orders here today? Because Bugs Bunny is with the mediums and Kamiep is with the softs. We have yellow sector 1, sector 2. And probably that was a Ferrari of FCNR Jake. Matt is coming. Ah, it was Matt. Once again, we have yellows. In sector 2, it was probably Leo, or was it a McLaren? It was Kamiep, who's lost the position to Bugs Bunny, so he made a mistake in the Lesmo, so then they switched positions. Napla up 5.8 second lead, 5.7 lead over Blender for Life. We'll see when Blender is gonna pit. Napla has to react also because, well, he has over 5.7 second lead, but undercut can be very strong on this track. And of course, if you get a time penalty, then it's all over. Basically, the only drivers here today without a time penalty are the top 2 runners, and ironically, these 2 drivers are the only one who are driving legitimately without assists. Like for real, these drivers are the only one who have driven the whole season without any assists, and these are the only 2 drivers who are currently fighting for the win, and only drivers without any mistakes or any penalties. So it only shows how good the experience without assists is. Kenya is speeding, Leo is speeding. Leo's gonna drop to, I believe, what's gonna be a P7 position. So he gets promoted to P4. Actually, Leo gets dropped down to P7 position. Only job behind him is DGC Impact. Napla 5.2 second lead, so Blender for Life is taking momentum from that lead. He is chewing out the lead, and the American is catching towards Napla. We can have a first ever American race winner here in the EFL. He has taken the gap down, but if Napla has the controller problems like he said, then yeah, he has the massive controller problems. His car doesn't turn to right, so we have to see that. He's using all of the track. He did a 124 on flat, and we'll see what lap time Blender does. And Blender is going to the pits. Blender is going to the pits. He's taking it very cautiously, but I want to see, does Napla really have the control problems turning to the right? And looks like he has. He has a little bit of problems. And Blender for Life, let's see what tires he's going to take. And Napla has to react very quickly because Blender for Life is quicker than Napla at the moment. And Blender for Life is going to rejoin back in P3, and the only driver without a pit stop still is basically TTV Bugs Bunny, who's 13 seconds behind of Bugs Bunny and Napla. So Napla will be making his pit stop after this lap. And Blender is going to rejoin easily back in P3, 6.2 seconds ahead of FSNR Jake. So very comfortable P2 at the moment for Blender for Life, and he is pushing a lot now, using his EOS in the straights to catch up to make the undercut work. We'll see, he's not going to make a pit stop. He said the hardest corners for him are the Ascari corners, so I want to see how much earlier he has to turn for the corners. Of course, still, it's not easy to catch up in Monza, and if you catch up, it's not easy to just make 1 second gap. And yeah, he has massive turning issues at the moment. And Napla is staying out, he's not pitting, and he did a 123.3, so he only loses 5/10 to his provisional best lap, what he's done here today. TTV Bugs Bunny, he's still driving in the track, and Impact gets a 10-second top penalty for corner cutting. So Impact is made a small mistake. I'm gonna see what Blender for Life does. The next lap is gonna be very crucial. Napla did 123.3, we have to remember that. And Blender for Life's gap to Napla, it's basically 28 seconds, so it's still comfortable for Napla, but Napla has to think about the pit stop still. But probably Napla wants to have the fresher set of tires in the end. And fresher your tires are, the faster you're gonna be. That's the golden rule of Formula 1. And if you have over 5-second gap, why not? But Leo says the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so Leo is finally getting more comfortable. He's setting a new fastest lap, which is very good actually for him. He will still be leading the championship after this Grand Prix if he finishes in the top 8. And I believe the ghosting, so is it on or is it off? I have to check. I made this lobby very quickly, and ghosting, I can actually see it assist. Okay, no, I don't know. But Napla is speeding anyways. And FSN might get a time penalty. Bugs Bunny is probably gonna continue and take the lead of the Grand Prix. Napla is speeding, he's taking the mediums. We'll see what Blender for Life is, and looks like Napla will be rejoining easily back in P2. Because Bugs Bunny hasn't made a pit stop, and Impact is in massive troubles at the moment. And Blender for Life has actually been, has he been able to extend the gap to to Napoli. No, it's 5 seconds. It's 4.8 seconds. So Blender for Life got a little bit to Napoli. Still 13 laps remaining. 4.8 second gap. Napoli is 7.9 seconds behind of Bugs Bunny. There we go. And Bugs Bunny, let's give a TV time for him. We have a good fight between Kamiap and Jake also. Battle for P4 position. Of course P3 when Bugs Bunny is going to make his pit stop. 7.5 between Napoli and Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is extending his first stint. Using the EOS. Gap between Blender and Napoli is increasing a little bit. It's now 5.3 seconds. Bugs Bunny is going to set a lap time of 1:24.7. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen, 1:24.7, and Napoli is going to set a 1:41.8. Okay, that was his after pit stop, and 1:23.3 for Blender for Life was set at the purple sector 3, so he's around 1.4 seconds quicker than Bugs Bunny at the moment. So yeah, Bugs Bunny is probably hoping for VSC or something, and Impact is getting a 3-second time penalty once again, and once again only drivers without any penalties are Napoli and Blender for Life. And gap between Napoli and Bugs Bunny is 6.8 seconds. You have yellows in sector 2, and that was DGC Impact who got who spun it. Also the gap between Kamiap and Jake is now over 1 second. Now it's once again less than 1 second. We have 12 laps remaining in a Grand Prix. We're gonna see a new top 3 here today, ladies and gentlemen. This is the once in a lifetime top 3 what you might see this season in the EFL. Well, Napoli is very quick. Of course, Napoli has a race win. He has P2 from Hungary, but like Blender for Life, Jake has a... Okay, actually, what am I saying? Jake is a race winner this season. Napoli is a race winner this season. Blender is going to get his first podium, but he's also very consistent. So, yeah, it's good to see new faces also, like Blender for Life in fighting for top 3. And once again, there's Binala trophy goes to DGC Impact, who has to let Napoli go because he is ghosted. The Napoli's gap to Blender is 5.2 seconds, as Bugs Bunny is going to rejoin back in P6, right behind of FC Nomad, who has to corner cut, and he gets a 5 seconds penalty because of that. Battle between Kamiap and Jake is very good. The battle for P3. Gap between Blender and Napoli is basically stay the same. It's 4.8 seconds. Bugs Bunny gets a 3-second top penalty for multiple warnings. But Bugs Bunny is also going to be a challenge for the top 3 in the end. What currently looks like Blender and Napoli are in their own races now. Bugs Bunny overtaking Matt after Matt made a massive mistake and dropped to P6 and probably getting an end plate damage. As we have 11 laps remaining in a Grand Prix here today. Matt probably has to make a pit stop, and that will probably promote Leo to P6 position. Well, Impact is the only driver here today who's lapped, but currently 4 points for him also, so not bad. And experience is experience nevertheless. Blender for Life is 5 seconds behind of Napoli. Jake is fighting with Kamiap still, very clean fight between these two. Kamiap biding and waiting his time and just waiting for a better opportunity to get past Jake. Jake, who has had multiple podiums here this season in EFL, is still in the Drivers' Championship fight, but he really has to win the Grand Prix to stay in the championship, in the title fight with Leo. And Visor's probably watching this race and hoping that Leo somehow finishes in P7, that he won't get any free positions. It's much more better to be 6 points behind than to be 8 points behind in Drivers' Championship. I mean, it's much better to be 8 points behind than 10 points behind in the Drivers' Championship. And Blender 6.2 seconds behind of Napla, so Napla has increased. He's put pedal to the metal and he set it a new fastest lap of 1:22.005. So he's doing what the real Mercedes drivers should do. Taking pole position, leading the race, making fastest lap. So Napla is currently making a Grand Slam, which would be his first ever Grand Slam in EFL. Blender's first ever podium in EFL, and Kamiap and Bugs Bunny are fighting for the first podiums in EFL, and Kamiap trying to get past Jake, but wasn't able to do that. Jake was already over 8 seconds behind of Blender. I don't know, has Blender made some kind of mistake? Has he lost part of his template? No, he's not. Everything's fine in his templates. It's just Napla has increased the gap between himself and Blender. Impact getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but 4 points for Impact is very important. Yeah, he's gonna move himself up in the championship fight because a lot of people are not racing it today, and he just runs wide. And I know it's painful, Impact. I know it's very painful, but come on, you can do it. It's only 9 more laps. You're big man. You're a big hero if you can finish this race. Like, I have massive respect for you if you're able to keep your nerves, finish the race, and take P8, and that would show a lot of character in you, that you don't give up, you fight. So come on, you're doing a great job here today. Come on, just keep at it, champ. Come on. Leo P7 knows what he has to do to extend the championship lead. He would be first ever Romanian driver to win the championship in EFL. Efsen now Matt in P6, Bugs Bunny in P5. Kamiap and Jake fighting with each other. They're going to side by side with each other. Jake basically dropped the whole, breaks his car in the middle of the corner to stop the switchback, or stop the switcheroo, or the dummy effect. And Impact is pitting, and he's switching towards the soft tires. And Jake still keeps the position, and gap between Napla and Blender is now, it's basically the same. It's 5.5 seconds. Efsen Matt gets a 3-second time penalty. And now we have Bugs Bunny, who's joined the fight between Kamiap and Jake. So are we gonna see easy overtake from Bugs Bunny, or is his teammate are they gonna switch positions? So okay, but it's so much more quicker than Kamiap, but they don't have to switch if they don't want. But looks like Bugs Bunny is just gonna take the position. Of course, the first softs are much quicker than the old mediums, and there we go. Now finally Kamiap made the move, and Jake made a mistake, and Bugs Bunny made a massive mistake, and he's lost his end plate, and that's very unfortunate for his Grand Prix here today. And that's so unfortunate for his race. He made a massive mistake. He had a chance to go for the podium, but nah, and Jake runs wide, and that will promote Kamiap to P3 position. But Bugs Bunny had the P3 in his sights, and he made that big mistake, and now he's 11 and 12 seconds behind of Jake and Kamiap. And now actually Blender for life, 4.4 seconds behind of Napla. So is Napla, he's saving EOS, Blender is burning EOS, but I'm gonna see the turning point in Ascari. You can see how much extra work he has to do when he's turning to right. He has to, with controller, he has to turn it so much. And I know Napla's driving style. He's currently fighting with the broken controller, so that's very impressive from him. And yellow sector 2. That was Matt who has spun it, and that will promote Leo to P6 position. Matt has dropped to P7. Bugs Bunny, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, 6 laps remaining in a Grand Prix. 4.3 seconds between Blender and Napla, but only one time penalty. One penalty can change everything for both of these drivers. If Napla gets a time penalty, Blender for life has to be 2.9 seconds behind. But if Blender gets a penalty, then basically Napla has won this Grand Prix if he doesn't retire. or get any connection issues or anything like that. Now the gap between Jake and Kamiap is 1.3 seconds. No massive fights going on anymore in this Grand Prix. 6 laps remaining. Very clean race so far. No retirements. Very good race. Very good racing. And the GC Impact is basically in a no man's land. Sitting around 26.7, but it's good, it's good. He's improving every lap, no mistakes, and this is just experience for the next season, which is good. 6 laps remaining. By the way, the real life qualification, it was very impressive. Max Verstappen took pole position, Lewis Hamilton P2 and Valtteri Bottas P3, and we have once again Impact who has spun it. But yeah, that's real life qualification just shows that Red Bull are back in the fight. Like, Mercedes are not the favorites at the moment for the championship, and we have Matt who has spun it himself also. Matt, he is struggling a lot. It's so hard without assist, without traction, without ABS, without the racing line. It's very, very hard. Gap between Apple and Blender stays the same still. It's 4.5 seconds. And I can imagine what the American is thinking. His first chance to win a Grand Prix, and the win is only 4.6 seconds away. And it only takes 1 or 2 penalties for a certain other driver in a Mercedes for Blender to get his first win. But also Napoli is very experienced in these situations. He rarely makes mistakes when he knows he has the big lead. He knows how to take it comfortable. He safe and steady, slow and steady, gets it ready. That you don't make big mistakes, you just control the gap. If he catches 2 tenths a lap, he catches 2 tenths a lap. Napoli is the master at this. He's not full, he's not going to try to make fastest laps when somebody is pressurizing him. Only if he's super comfortable, then he's just going to do it. But he wants to take the race win, so. And that's with a 5-6 year experience without any assists, so. Bugs Bunny is closing down the gap now on Jake and Kamiap, so he's taken 4 seconds, 5 seconds in the last 3 laps, so. But looked like easy P3, wasn't that at all, and I can imagine that Matt's tires are burned out. They are burned out. And Kamiap gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. We're gonna see what. Yeah, his tires are basically gone. They're overheated. His tires overheated. He has to go back to the pits and just wait until there we go. So that's very unfortunate. And Matt is a. Yeah, his tires are really overheated. Let's keep an eye on him for a little while. Are there any McLarens or anybody coming close to him? Yes, there are. Okay, we have a Blender gets a time penalty. Blender gets a 3-second time penalty. So it's gonna be very hard for him now to catch up to Napla, unless if Napla makes 2 mistakes. And Jesus Christ, and that was very close for Matt. And is Matt gonna make it back to the pits? Should be able to, and it's been a very hard race for him, but massive kudos for sticking it up and not giving up. 4-second gap, 4.6-second gap between Bugs Bunny, Jake and Kamiap now. So McLaren can still take P3 and P4. I don't know how the penalties go. The penalties can decide everything in the end. But it looks like it might be after this result, Napla might actually move himself to P4 position in the Drivers' Championship, if I'm not incorrect, because Tuckbird, Chappelle, but yeah, they're not racing, so Napla might move himself to P4. I have to check it out. Napla is currently P6 in the Drivers' Championship. He is with 59 points. Tuckbird is 70 points. Jake is 78 points. But Napla will be getting 25 points and 59. So that means Napla would be in 84 points. We don't do the fastest laps in EFL in Season 2. And Jake would get 12 points and he's at 78. So Napla would move himself to P5 position in the Drivers' Championship with this result. In yellows in Sector 1, and that's Matt once again, who had to corner cut the entire corner, and we have three laps remaining in the Grand Prix. The gaps are very, very massive between all of the drivers, and we have Matt who's retired. Matt has retired from this session, and his retire is the only retirement here today. But he did the wall. 90% wall is done, so Matt will be getting either P7 or he will be getting a P8 position. And Impact gets promoted to P7 position. Leo gets promoted to P6. But that was a retirement from Matt. But he will be getting a P8. He will be getting 4 points from this Grand Prix due to him driving the 90% of this Grand Prix. And Napla is just in a league of his own, getting the DRS from DGC Impact. Third ever race win in EFL for Napla coming here today. So very, very, very impressive. As I'm gonna check the comments, for some reason the comments haven't got into me. And Bugs Bunny still 2.2 seconds, so he might be able to catch up towards FC and take P4 for the McLaren team. Yeah, Leo, you had a wall with Visor. I don't know why I just realized that, but it's been a great Grand Prix. Very clean, and we have 2 laps remaining, and if Napla doesn't retire or get any internet connection issues, it looks like Napla will take the race win, and will take second race win in EFL. And we have Bugs Bunny who has spun it. Bugs Bunny has spun it. I just saw that, and that's very unfortunate. There's no point actually making a pit stop because Leo is 90 seconds behind. Just drive it to the end if you want. There we go. We have Bugs Bunny who's just doing a little bit of practicing with okay, he failed miserably in the attempts to avoid the barriers, and he gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. So that means Leo might actually get P5 in the end. So Visor's gap to Leo in the end might actually be 12 points. But Napla 6.1 seconds gap to Blender, and very unfortunate for Bugs Bunny. He had a great strategy. He had definitely a chance to take the top 3, but 2 big mistakes. He lost 2 times over 10 seconds in his lap times in 1 lap, and that's very unfortunate. And Napla using the ARS, probably trying to make the fastest lap in the end, and probably Blender for life trying to take the fastest lap away from Napla, but no points due. For 5.8 seconds gap between Napla and Blender. Napla, who's been very superb, and Napla takes the 3-second penalty also. So no driver here today were able to avoid the penalties in Monza. Every single driver got penalties here today. So we have to see what's gonna be the point. Blender for life will be probably kicking himself, but the gap is over 6.2 seconds to Napla, and we might as well keep an eye on Napla now. He's the only Finnish driver ever to win a Grand Prix in EFL. Season 1 Monaco, Season 2 Bahrain Short, and Season 2 of Monza. Once again, second race win, 3rd podium in the last 4 races, and Napla is just moving himself to top 5 in the Drivers' Championship and securing the Constructors' title for Mercedes. Well, we have to see what happens in the last Grand Prix. But still, Mercedes have chance to secure the Constructors' title in Brazil. Napla for life, taking pole position, making fastest laps, leading almost every single lap of the Grand Prix. It's just been a dominant fashion from the young Finnish driver. And Napla 185, British Mercedes car, is going to win the Grand Prix of Monza, and first ever Finnish driver to win the Monza Grand Prix, Italian Grand Prix in Formula 1. Napla takes the race win. Congratulations. Blender for life. First ever podium in EFL, and this man can be very happy of his results because first ever podium, first American ever in a podium in EFL. Very impressive stuff, and that's a great team for that team and for that man, for the Haas Formula 1 team to take first podium in Formula 1. Bugs Bunny gets dropped to P4. Jake takes P3 in the end with his Ferrari, so we have Jake in P3, Kemiep in P4. Bugs Bunny takes P5 position due to a little bit collisions, and he's basically not pushing it anymore, and probably is he trying to gift the P5 for Leon? Yes, he does. So a little bit of strategy games from the McLaren and Red Bull here today. And Leo's lead in the front is going to be 12 points. And draw of the day, Kamiab. And Jake gets another podium in EFL. And sorry to say that this wasn't enough to keep you in a championship fight, but you might move yourself to P4 in a championship, in a Drivers' Championship ahead of Tuckbird. And Napla, very happy man. Blender for Life, also a very happy man here today. 2 no assist drivers getting the 2 podiums, and Napla, Blender for Life, very good job. My job today would be Napla 185 because he did a Grand Slam, very dominant fashion. But our game chose Kamiab. And Leo is very happy for P5 results. So Napla P1, Blender P2, Jake takes the P3, so that's the top 3. Kamiab P4, Leo P5, Bugs Bunny P6, Impact takes P7, great race, and Matt takes P8. And we're gonna invite the top 3 to the interview box very, very shortly, so you can hear these guys' interviews. And yeah, we're just gonna invite Napla, Blender for Life, and FSNR Jake for the interviews. One moment. Hopefully they're all online mode. Of course they're not. Blender for Life, we have to invite him, there we go. Then we invite F7R. F7R Jake, there we go. And then we have to invite the race winner, Napla 185, to the party. So we invite Napla 185. We have Blender for Life, the American, joining us to the podium interviews, as we're gonna wait for P3 and P1 drivers. Drivers, make sure you have your voice showing on when we start the interviews. Very great race, but still we wait for Jake and Napla to join the party. So a little bit of break for you guys. And we have a Napla 185, the race winner, joining us here today. So at least we got the first 2 drivers who finished P1 and P2 here today. And we're still waiting for F7R Jake for the podium interviews. And then we're gonna start the party, basically. And we're gonna wait 30 more seconds on Jake, and if he doesn't come, then we're gonna start the podium interviews. And Jake, unfortunately, his mic is broken, so he can't join the party. So we will start with our P2 driver, Blender for Life. Are you with us, man? Do you have voice going on? You have to go to party settings. So basically, you press the BS button, you go to party settings, and then always allowed.
Here we go. How does that sound?
I think it's on. If it's always allowed, then it's on. Yeah, I can't really listen at the moment because of the.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Blender for Life. First ever podium in EFL. You're the first American to ever finish in a podium in EFL, and first time has ever taken a podium in EFL in season 1 or season 2. You had a little bit of problems in the qualifying. You only set at the banker lap. So first of all, before I ask race questions, what on earth happened in qualifying?
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling too great, and I made a mistake. I just overcooked it going into that turn, and then I just slid into my retirement.
Alright, and you started the race from P4. We saw in the early parts of the race you had amazing battles between FSNR Matt, Jake, Kamiab, and TTV Bugs Bunny. But when you overtook them, it was a hunt on and trying to catch the Napla. But basically, the whole race, the gap stayed the same. But overall, how would you describe the race? And are you happy with the first podium?
I am happy with it. Yeah, I mean, I had some good battles with the guys in front. I mean, it was obvious they were struggling, and I just took advantage of it. And then Napula was just off and away. I tried catching up to him. I didn't have the pace though. I think the closest I got was like 4.6. And then at the later part of the laps, I was like, you know what? I want to see. I know I have worn tires. I want to see if I can set the fastest lap, and I couldn't. So.
Were you hoping that Napla would get a time penalty? Because in the end, Napla got a time penalty, but you also got a time penalty. So
yeah, it kind of evened out there.
It got even, but Would it have changed anything if the gap was still like 4.6 seconds, Napoli had a penalty, or do you think P2 was maximum here today?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, if I didn't have that mistake in qualifying, it was possible I could have gotten a little faster because I was in time trial. I was getting 119.1, so I could have gone faster, much faster.
But still, you had a wonderful race and great job. Napla, race
Thank
winner.
you.
You took your second race win in the last four races and your third podium in the last four races. You moved yourself in P5 position and you're still fighting basically against Sir Sapel and Efsanat Jake for P3 in a Drivers' Championship. But first of all, before I ask about questions about the standings, you dominated the race. Just fastest lap, leading every single lap, pole position. Was it a perfect weekend for you?
I didn't lead every race. I mean every lap.
Almost, I said almost every lap.
Okay, almost every lap. I mean it was a surprise. Of course, I know some drivers have difficulties to what this race hold up the no assist, but I was very surprised because I just came from the work and jumped on the PS4 and start driving and. Yeah, our first lap I realized that my controller is a little bit damaged, so it was big surprise how it ended up. But I'm happy.
You're happy, and now you have a chance to basically fight for P3 in the Drivers' Championship with defending EFL champion Sir Sapel and Efsanat Jake. I know it's not a fight for the Drivers' Championship, but what kind of a difference does it make if you finish P5 in a championship or P3? How does it affect your mindset?
If P3 helps up to seal the deal with constructors, it's even better. But I think in normal circumstances, fighting against those two guys is just how can I say it? It's a extreme challenge. Let's see. I think we have one more to go in Brazil, so let's see. I don't know yet.
Yeah, and one more question before we go to national anthems. Blender, you also basically you have a chance to fight for top 6 or even top 5 in a Drivers' Championship. So after everything what has happened this season, what would P5 or P6 mean to you if you would be able to get it?
That would mean a whole lot because I haven't been able to come to every race. I think I missed at least half the season, so that would be absolutely awesome if I can get up there.
Well, there we go. Two happy men in the podium, and probably Jake also happy to get a P3. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise and take your hats off for the national anthem of Finland. There we go, we heard the national anthem of Finland. Congratulations for Napla, Blender and Efsanat Jake for the podiums. Thank you for all the viewers, thank you for all the drivers who participated this week's race in EFL. And thank you for all the people who have been helping me this season in EFL. Because next week we're gonna go to last freaking round and the championship fight, oh boy, it's gonna be juicy. It's gonna be between Red Bull's Leo, Mercedes' Vaiso. Is Napla gonna be the wingman? Who is gonna help Leo out? How is the strategy game gonna be played out in the last round of Brazil? You really don't want to miss this. Like, it's gonna be probably fight of the century. And ladies and gentlemen, really, next week, get ready for World War 3. I was Eric. See you next week. Take care and stick to Brazil. Bye.